Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Thursday, December 28th, 2023. The end of the year is fast approaching. We're going to take a quick walk through the garden here. I'm going to try to get a few things done. We never did get any fall crops planted, so I'm going to try to get some onions at least going here, and maybe even some lettuce. We'll just have to see if we got time for that. But first, let's just take a quick look at some of the citrus trees here. I got them out of the greenhouse for a few days since the weather was nice enough for that and didn't really have to worry about them. It's probably the last night they'll be out here. In fact, I'm probably going to go ahead and put the limes back in the greenhouse tonight. But anyway, this is one of our Meyer lemons. This is the one we purchased from Park Seed. Just received it back in April of 2022. So it's got a few lemons on it. It's not in the same blooming pattern as our other Meyer lemon that we just harvested all those lemons from. That one's actually right behind it, and it doesn't currently have any blooms on it. But we had just harvested, what was it, 37 lemons from it just a few weeks ago. But this one here, it's in full bloom right now. It's got lemons that are looking like they're about to start ripening because they're much lighter green color than they were before. And it even has one right here that is in the early stages of forming. So it's all over the place. It has defoliated on us a couple of times, but it always seems to bounce right back. There's lots of new growth on it there. Right next to it here is our Lisbon lemon. It hasn't fruited for us or anything like that, but at least it's still growing, and see some damage on some of them older leaves, but it's still doing pretty good. And this one down here is the cutting that we rooted off of this one over here. We took the cutting back in May of 2022, and it was doing great. We took two cuttings then, but then when the Arctic blast came through here back in December of 2022, it killed this thing back to within an inch of the ground or the soil line. And then the other one, it got killed completely. But since then, this one's come back pretty good. It's actually about to start blooming for us. As you can see right there, some blooms. Have to see. Came back nicely from getting killed. Anyway, the one behind it there is the Meyer lemon that we harvested all the lemons from recently. See, that little tag right there tells you that we got that one back in March of 2022, and that one came from Home Depot, and that's a rooted cutting. And then this one right here, looking a little yellow, that's our Trevita orange. We got that back in early May of 2022, I believe. Walk around here and I'll tell you for sure. Or no, it was actually April 2022, so it would have been at the end of April. But it's still growing. Hadn't bloomed much for us. I think it only seen one bloom on it. We got some cuttings from it that we've been able to get rooted, but hadn't got any fruit from that tree. This here is our Rio Red grapefruit, and as you can see, it's got lots of new growth, and it's about to bloom. It's covered with buds there, so maybe we'll get a Rio Red grapefruit off that sometime soon. That's our Owari Satsuma right here, and it gave us 7 Satsumas Don't see any signs of any new budding yet, but we got to give it some time. It'll be another month or so before we see that. And then here is our key lime with the air layer. I was actually hoping that we were going to be removing that air layer today, but it hasn't started showing me any roots in there yet. I imagine if I pulled some of the soil away, there probably are roots in there. There's lots of new growth on it. It's blooming. I think I'm going to take all these blooms off of it. The part that's on the air layer anyway, and let it concentrate on trying to make some roots. The rest of the tree's looking real healthy, nice and green, lots of new growth. So we'll just have to stay tuned for that air layer. Here's our Bears lime or Persian lime, and it's got lots of new growth coming off on it, and it even's got about to start blossoming. There's some blooms right there. But something I noticed that I'm gonna have to do something with here. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to. Is there's a little volunteer tomato plant. Not sure what variety it's going to be. I think I'm going to pull that out of there and pot it up in some soil and grow it out, and we'll just see what happens. It wanted to grow for us, so we're going to let it grow. And here next to it is our thornless key lime. It still hadn't given us any fruit either, but blooming all the time, so I expect it'll start bearing fruit soon. As a matter of fact, I see one right there. Looks like trying to form for us, so hopefully that will go ahead and grow and turn into a full-size lime. So over here we got our avocado trees, 4 of them. Today avocados right there, and right behind it is your Brazos Bell and the Fantastic, and then the biggest one is our Little Cotto or the Wirtz, and I noticed it's actually got blooms about to start opening for us on that. We'll just have to see. We've never got any fruit on any of those, but just have to find out. That one right there, I think we got in May of 2022, the Little Cotto. So that's the one we've had the longest. That day avocado actually has flowered for us from last year. So we didn't get any fruit. We just had to see. That's a quick look at all the trees, at least the ones that I got out here in the yard. There's a couple more inside the greenhouse. But I think I need to get busy trying to get some onions planted over here. But one of the first things I'm going to do is I got a couple of bunching onions over here in the raised beds. Or in the, not the raised beds, in the in-ground beds that I'm going to dig out and move to the raised bed. Here's one right here. Hopefully I can dig out a good amount of roots with it and not kill it. I think we got a good decent amount of roots with it. Hopefully that's good enough. And then there's another one down here on the end. It's actually multiplied itself a little here. There's 2 of them. Let's see if we can get that up with some roots. Hopefully. Okay. Now, we'll move them over here into the raised beds. What I'm going to do is put one down here on this end. Make a little spot for it. Matter of fact, it might even be easier just to use my hand. One, gonna go right there. And the other one, right across from it. We'll try to put it right there. Hopefully, they're able to survive that. I think they will. Onions are pretty tough, and anyway, they weren't going to work for me where they were. I think I'll just go ahead and dump that in over there by it. And then, so those onions that I just dug up are these right here from last year. Didn't do a lot for us, but kind of got smothered out by the stuff that was growing around it. So now what we're going to also plant in here is we got some, I don't know if you'll be able to read it. Just look at it right there. So these are yellow Granix onions. But I had grown some out from seed last year. Didn't get them all planted. I ended up just saving what I didn't get planted. And these are pretty much just like the onion sets you'd buy at the store. And what I'm going to do is just plant them all out and we'll see what happens. So what I'm do is just, you can see I got a whole pile of them there. Some of them smaller than others. But what I'm going to do is just try to fill this whole bed full of them. Let's just see. I don't know how many I got. I think what I'll do is I'll just start right there. Just keep plugging them in. And right there. And we'll just see. So I'm going to go ahead and you see how I've started out. I'm going to go ahead and get them planted out. I'm going to pause the video. And when I get it planted out, I'll come back. Okay, there's all the onion sets planted out. We'll just have to see if they'll grow for us or not. Got our bunching onions there at the end, and then all those are the yellow Granix onions. And there's 29 of them, I believe. And I did sprinkle a handful of seeds over here with the bunching onions and a few in there with the Granix onions. We'll just have to see if those even come up. But here in a few weeks, I guess we'll either see some new growth or we won't. And we'll just have to find out then. Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Enjoy your day.